Oh, we started. Ow.
Sweat. That's something that happened.
Okay. I was gonna say how I got into Jets. I remember the whole Shigimel Masifta. I decided I wanted to go to YG in Australia. It was my dream. Like, I remember, like, I was gonna just leave. I was gonna go for a year. I heard it was an amazing yeshiva, and I was really excited to go. I spoke to Rabbi Farkash about it. I remember even Rabbi Farkash was like excited for me to go because he wanted me to get out of there. And I remember Rabbi Garari was the last person I told, and I remember that I went to him about it, and the first thing he told me was, "Yeah, go to YG." I'm like, "Why?" You're not getting accepted. And then I remember thinking, like, why? He's like, because they don't just accept anybody, and I'm the one they talk to. So I don't remember, I didn't even fight for it because that required talking to him more. So I kind of gave up on YG and I decided, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'll go to Israel. My notes started to come onto the table. Then I decided, you know what? I think Jet seems like the best option. And I was talking about Farkash here and there about it. And then I remember one day me and Kobe came here to check out the school. We drove with this rabbi guy. I don't remember who he was. I think it was the other smicha teacher. He's a funny guy. And then I remember everything was set up, except Yossi Engel was just not getting back to my parents for like 3 months. And they kept emailing him. And now we're like a month into the school year, and he's not getting back to my parents. And I remember I was just, I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I felt worthless. I was at home watching TV all day because I didn't get my act together to go to college or anything. I literally was just sitting at home all day, doing nothing. Like one of my friends was like, "Yitzi, get the hell out of bed. Go make breakfast even. Just get out of bed. Get off your phone." And I remember I personally, I think, took my mom's phone and called Yossi and then put the phone in there and like forced it like several times. And then I got into Jets. Now I'm in my second year in Jets, taking smicha, going to Mayanot next year. And everything's just falling into place. It's exciting stuff.
Wow. You don't have anything to say. Perfect. Wow. All right, let's jump in. Shkayach for that, yes. We're up to 6.
I gotta say that I think I would have been better
if
I had a crown on.
See, can we get another paper?
And a royal goblet.
And a robe.
Sure.
Do we have any robes? So like the fur.
Okay, I think that it would be
maybe a cat on a pillow.
Water's better.
I'm telling you, I feel better with water.
Yeah?
It's more water.
It's just an attempt. I'll say it.
Yo, these guys are going to speak?
What?
These guys are going to speak?
Abba's there. Whoever else is part of it and
On the platform.
I'm in. As long as it's normal there.
Does anyone want this chair?
Does anybody else see a Dementor when they look at you?
Do you want it?
So what I think we should do is we should do 1 round of minutes if possible, so that we can kind of recalibrate what we're talking about. You have a minute, so if you want to catch up on what we're talking about, so let's do that. If you want to comment on
That's what.
if you want to resonate, then you can resonate. So, Albie, would you like to?
Sure. Yeah, I remember when me and Yitzi came. I remember we came in an Uber with Rabbi Kornwasser and Josh Oginskis. And I remember we got here and we played basketball with Shalom and Hillel. And we sat in Mori's Shechita class. And I remember Moshe was talking about how this is the worst place ever and we shouldn't come. And Mendel Labor, I remember he had like a lot of hair then. And we spoke to him a lot. And yeah, that was pretty much I remember we walked into this room and I saw Isaac on the couch, and like when we came in he just looked like a deer in the headlights. Like, I don't know. Good. That was it. And then we walked out. And we got Jets bandanas, and that was exciting.
Yeah, I think I totally resonate with what Yizzy said. That especially, I feel like for guys our age, just being like doing nothing, not having anything going, just sitting in bed the whole day, even when it's vacation. Even on vacation day, when like I know personally when I had school and then I would have vacation, if I would just sit around and watch TV the whole day, I'd be like, yo, this is not. Doesn't feel like any. I think it comes back again to what the Rebbe was saying in the letter. How in life I have to be giving, I have to be doing, I have to be doing stuff that I don't want to, even. Because that's the only way that that a human being can feel worth, value. If I feel I'm giving over to even within myself, I feel like I'm going out of the comfort zone. So that feeling goes away because now I'm actually doing something.
Did it switch? Yeah. So I wanted to say I don't remember the day that you guys came. I remember the day Yitzi like came in motivated. Like he went from the fall to the climb. Like I'm climbing, I'm pushing. Guys join me. Like speaking in the circle, and like I was like, whoa. He's like, I'm done. I'm fed up with just doing nothing. And I was pretty motivated by that. Yeah. So who knows that. Maybe if you would have went to YG, it would have backfired. Like you would have been like all this Hasidic, and then one day saying it's not me, it's not who I am, versus this, which is like a climb from the bottom, which is so much more valuable. And it resonates with me that like Hashem didn't let you go to YG. He set it up in a way where you didn't even apply.
Rabbi Yoskin.
Good morning. So I just want to share you something. I'm very happy to be here. I feel I'm with you together. One time you're not going to know if I'm with you or you're with me. It's very interesting who's watching who. It's a very interesting thing. I realized a very observation. When I was a monkey one time, if you were a monkey and they trained you to become a man, what's going to happen? It's a crazy stuff is going to happen. You're not going to remember how you were a monkey because it's impossible because you became such a man. So what I want to say is like this. Rabbi Shmukler's relative went to the Rebbe in Yechidus. The Rebbe told him, take off the glasses because he was blind for 3 years, 30 years. He took off his glasses for a month. He was walking and he sees everything. After a month, he said to himself, hey, how do I see? It doesn't make any sense. 30 years, I don't see nothing. Suddenly I see. So he stopped to see. Every day you want to stop to see in your day. You don't have a problem.
Amazing. Abba.
All right, good morning, guys. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to concentrate on what's going on and drive at the same time, but now the traffic's a lot easier. It's good. But I do remember Yitzi Kesser when you came into. I mean, I wasn't there when you came into Jets. I think. I mean, I only came in last year after Sukkot, but I definitely do remember what T was saying by the circles. Not everyone. It was the beginning of the year. A lot of guys, but like there's some circle. And okay, I'm enjoying this. This is awesome. Some talking. We're discussing things, and I'm like, okay, I like that guy, and like it gave me like a whatever. It was something that I saw that like this guy is gonna grow, and I feel like that's important. So good, it's good.
Abba.
Good.
There's nobody else there speaking, right?
We wouldn't know anymore. I should remember my first time coming to Jets, beginning of this year. We came late, not late, but like the rabbis told us to come like a day or two early just to settle in, meet the boys and everything. So me and Yossi were coming from Hawaii. So we only landed that morning of school actually started. And we were like a little nervous. What's here? What's happening? And like I remember seeing the Tzvi and he's like dancing and like, just going crazy. I'm like, okay, it's not so bad. It's gonna be more relaxing and say Baruch Hashem. I'm really happy I came here. It was fun. Thank you too.
No.
Breaking in that vibe and make you comfortable. Time move up. About 15 seconds. Long time. A minute is a long time. Depending on the person you're saying. Yeah.
Loud.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Joe. All right.
Use your own minute for this, okay? I was just like thinking to myself the other day, like just trying to get to know myself even more, and I was thinking like I know I'm very driven by like one either like intellect at some points and then sometimes like just completely emotion. And I'm just trying to like make sure that every time I'm feeling very, very like in the moment, like emotional, I can't get myself out of my own head, like out of my own feelings. I make sure to like ground myself in reality a bit. Like I'm pushing myself to like make sure that I look at the facts, see what is actually happening, and try to make decisions based off that instead of just my feelings.
Wow. So good morning, everybody. Really good to see you all. Thank you for putting in the effort and being here and speaking. It doesn't depend on the person. It depends on how much time you've tried, because as soon as you have stuff to say, you realize that a minute is really not enough. But that's an excellent little amount. A little amount. I have like this dilemma kind of that I'm trying to figure out, because it seems that the Rebbe is telling me that American boys pretty much don't have, like, we don't believe in ourselves. Like American children in general, we really don't believe in ourselves. We have very low self-confidence, and we're already, and I think the Rebbe's words are, we're already our own worst critics. Therefore, they don't need any other criticism. But at the same time, you have like something like this, like when someone's just so self-centered. So to find a balance somewhere along the way, I think is.
I don't know how many times we go around.
You're the last one.
Oh, because that was the first one. Yeah. We are our worst critics. I remember when we walked into the Schieter room, I remember just looking at Mendel Labor and just being like, wow, that is a big person. I remember like, he was just sitting there sharpening his knife, and I was like, I thought he was an older man in the school, and then like told me he was 17. I was like, wow, I need to start hitting the gym. But yeah, you're actually it's really right. I'm just gonna talk about myself. Self-esteem levels can be very low. Mine personally, I know my self-esteem levels are very low, but I have been trying to work on it. Just kind of as Yaron did, get out of my comfort zone. Because by doing things I'm uncomfortable, like when I sing during Chazen, that's getting out of my comfort zone.
Let's start. 6, yeah?
So far, I've been speaking in general terms. When the individual in question happens to have the good fortune of being a Jew, his duties and obligations go infinitely further, especially in this day and age. After 1/3 of our people, quantitatively and much more so qualitatively, have been annihilated. For everyone who has been spared that fate must not only contribute, not only his normal share, but also make up that terrible gap that has been created in the life of our tortured people. One must now work for at least 2 towards the preservation of our people and the fulfillment of its destiny.
So far, I have been speaking in general terms. When the individual in question happens to have the good fortune of being a Jew, his duties and obligations go infinitely further, especially in this day and age after 1/3 of our people, quantitatively and much more so qualitatively, have been annihilated. For everyone who has been spared that fate must not only contribute, not only his normal share, but also make up that terrible gap that has been created in the life of our tortured people. One must now work for at least 2 towards the preservation of our people and the fulfillment of its destiny.
So far, I've been speaking in general terms. When the individual in question happens to have the good fortune of being a Jew, his duties and obligations go infinitely further, especially in this day and age, after 1/3 of our people, quantitatively as how much more so, qualitatively, have been annihilated. For everyone who has been spared that fate must not only contribute not only his normal share, but also make up for the terrible gap that has been created in the life of our tortured people. One must now work for at least 2 towards the preservation of our people and the fulfillment of its destiny.
Rabbi Yaska.
I don't have the book in front of me. Okay, I've got 1 second. I'm gonna take a look. 1 second.
Isaac, you're
How
amazing.
do I get the book? How do I get the book?
On the
It's on the WhatsApp.
I'll
On
look
the-
it back again.
1 second. I'm going to go to the book. So I have it's a little aggravation, but let me see.
I could rob sometime.
I have to go up in the WhatsApp. Jets think.
Yeah.
I'm going up. Kobila.
FiveAlive Jet.
I'm in the FiveAlive Jets. But, or Letters of the Rebel, yeah? This
Here
is
you
the letter
go.
of the... So
Number
which page?
6. Number
6?
6.
Number 6. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6. Number 6. So far, I have been speaking in general terms. When the individual in question happens to have to go further of being a Jew. Okay, I don't hear my words. What I say. His duties and obligations go infinitely further, especially in this day and age. After one child, one third of our people, quite essentially, quantitatively, collectively, probably, yeah, and much more so, collectively have been annihilated for everyone who has been spread the fate must not only contribute not only in high normal share, but also make up that terrible gap that has been created in the life of our terrible people, tortured people. One must now work for at least 2 towards the preservation of our people and fulfillment of the destiny. I want if you have it the night before, I'm going to try to read it before. Then I get used to. I want to know the letter in a good way, please.
All right.
It's always on the
you have
WhatsApp.
the letter.
Here you go.
Okay.
Leave it go.
Abba. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna read and drive at the same time. But I memorized it. Something like first he's talking about generally, but now he's talking about more individually, especially because because right now we're 1/3 quantitatively and something like that. Something like that. I don't remember. After the terrible gap, and that's all I remembered. So I'll pass.
Thank you, Abba. And Yaska. Good, Schneider. Let's read it one more time.
Yeah. So far, I've been speaking in general terms. When the individual in question happens to have the good fortune of being a Jew, his duties and obligations go infinitely further, especially in this day and age. The 1/3 of our people, quantitatively and much more so qualitatively, have been annihilated. For everyone who has been spared that fate must not only contribute not only his normal share, but also make up his terrible gap that has been created in the life of our tortured people. One must now work for at least 2 towards the preservation of our people, fulfillment of its destiny.
So
Seesaw.
Far Shrek.
for close.
You.
I, Atmos.
Rabioska. Have.
Have
Yes.
H-E-V.
H-A-V-E. Yes.
Have. Wow. Body.
Body. Abba. Have.
Have time.
Time.
Ooh, that was good.
Thank you.
That's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do we do now?
Do more time talking.
Minutes and 30 seconds.
If you want, you can finish
No, I'm
up.
asking, what do we talk about now? What we're learning?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, maybe you could finish off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always do that. Yeah. Yeah, just finishing off what I was saying before, even though I was already done. There's usually like facts that happen, and then there's feelings about those facts, and then those feelings are completely valid as long as they work with a group of people. If they're not working with a group of people, then it doesn't really work. So now, yeah, like based on what we were saying right now. Oh, it's qualitatively, not qualitatively, or whatever. I was upset. Nobody got it. Yeah. Doesn't really matter. Not even fakely, but that's a choice I can make about the situation.
Wow. Wow. It's so amazing, like a completely just different way of thinking. That's what this is. I mean, and I think that's what he's saying. I'm going back to the issue. Person has not in a good mindset. He's trying to deal with it. Doesn't know what to do with it, right? And he has blessings all over his life. He's got everything he needs and wants, and he has more than what most people have. And he's still in a negative mindset. What could he do? The Rebbe's telling him, you're focusing too much on yourself, and you have to give more. But he's also showing him, like, how much more you have to give. Like, we're put in a position that we really do have to give a lot more to society around and things like that. So, kind of answer to my own question from before is that there's certain realities that I have to accept. That means that if I want a healthy confidence and things like that, it's not by building myself up. It's by helping others. Powerful.
The Rebbe wrote this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not saying that the Rebbe made mistakes, but I'm just saying I've never heard of the word quantitatively. I think there's an extra tit in there. But either way, that was a pretty interesting paragraph talking about how this guy's down and saying that a third of us got knocked out. I think it's in reference to the Holocaust, and he says a third of us were not annihilated. And he's saying that now you got to do your part to help the other two-thirds, get back to our prior state and even further. As in, it's not going to be an easy thing. You got to get out of your comfort zone. He's saying like you got to contribute a lot and fulfill that terrible gap that's been made and scarred in every single one of us. And pretty deep stuff. So I'm going to spend this last 5 seconds to just go ein, zwei, drei.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm very happy Levy got an ice cream because I could tell he wanted it, and I think he deserves it because he's nice to everyone and he works hard. And so I saw, like, I could tell he's going back and forth the whole morning. Should I have the ice cream? Should I not? So I'm very happy he finally got the ice cream. Last night, my brother called me up because we have 2 mutual friends, and he wanted to hear my opinions because one of them decided that he wants to convert to Judaism because his father was Jewish, and his father passed away when this guy was 6 years old from testicular cancer. And the other guy, our other friend, he wants to know how his because he's planning to marry this non-Jewish woman, so he wants to know how his kids can be Jewish. So I think this other guy will send him this letter, and yeah, take it away, Levi.
First of all, the ice cream was definitely say it wasn't back and forth, but I gave it He told me to give it, so I gave it. Yeah, I think also a point that I was saying is not only did the Holocaust, because it also seemed like that's what I was referencing to. Not only did it physically knock out and destroy a third of the Yidden, but the whole idea of how in America our lives are so different, how everything's just fine, everything's good. So now my challenge as a Yid is just our challenge as Yidden is different. Now before it was we're fighting, we have fire, we have strength. There's nothing ever giving out. There was never like disinterest. So I think that I was saying that now that in these days in America, there's just there's a whole nother type of goals. So the Yidden's quality went down. He's telling the person that he has to, do that.
So yesterday, Isaac dropped me off to do door knocking for real estate, and like the first house I reached to, but the second house on the block, a Jew by the name of Avi, he's remodeling his 5th home. He takes a home, buys it, it's in trash condition, completely makes it beautiful, rents it out, and goes on to do the next home. So he's 27 years old. So I was wrapping a tefillin, and he takes off the tefillin. He looks at me, he's like, after the Holocaust, we gotta up our game. How many kids you got? We need more kids. I'm looking at him and I'm like, wait, like this concept resonates with you? Like this guy is living on the top of his game, 27 years old, young guy, making it out there in the world. And he's thinking like post-Holocaust, I got to up my game. It blew me away. It blew me away that this is where his mind was, So, and perfect to what the Rebbe is saying.
Shaska. Rabbi Yaska. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a very interesting thing when I mentioned to you. When you learn with somebody, he makes you say things that you don't believe you can say. So I learned with a big rabbi, Posach Eliyahu. He made me say things, crazy stuff. He made me say, woo. His name is Rabbi Moshe Aberman. And he said, Yoska, I know, I don't pick up a compliment, but it pulls out of me. So it's crazy stuff. So I want to tell you something. Thank you very much. But so I feel you should know one thing. Everybody wants to control the world. The people who have a lot of money, when they give you a lot of money, you know what's happened later? And then you don't want from them money. They want to kill you. They want to be dependent on them. They don't want you to go out that you should have more money than them. Not more money than them, even like them.
He's getting money right now.
Abba, go ahead.
The guy at the rabbi asked me how much money. He gives half. You see? He said he gives me half. He said, how much money you need? אני רוצה להראות להם שזה, people have to give me all the money, they don't have a choice because we spend.
You should have
how much money I want.
Oh man, okay. Alba, go ahead, please. Before Yeska goes again. I'm saying I would love for Yeska to go again.
He's going.
Okay, Schneider, let's go.
Yeah. Alba's face he's making right now.
Yeah, I think we have to do our duties in helping. Actually, I just saw an article recently. We were saying how we just reached the amount of Jews we were before the Holocaust. Point. Like we were, I think, 80, whatever something million. Now we reached that after we were knocked down. We're back there, and I think we all have to do our part and shouldn't wait for marriage. We should go right into it and. Yes, go right into it as soon as you're ready. Just no time to waste. You gotta start fulfilling our obligations to re-satisfy the world, replenish the world from Yidden, spread the word of Hashem to everyone. Goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the milestones we reach, like when we get back to where we were, like let's say like I'm working out in the gym and like have like a falling out, and then I get back to that point, that's like a big hurdle mentally, and I'm sure this is a big step for us. And yeah, Lee, just a big shout out to you. Like, you work hard, but you never talk about yourself. I noticed that about you. Other people do it, but you special.
Wow. Okay. So first of all, I have to say that there was two things. First, there was a S that was missing, so I told Sean about it. So he got very like, "That's all you found? Just found what you didn't see?" And I typed up this whole thing. All you found was that I missed an S. Then I thought that there was another mistake, so I checked in the original letter, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's crossed out a letter." You're like, "No, it says 2." So I made a mistake, and Sean got it right. So I was thinking that you should feel as good, at least as good as you felt bad.
I apologize, Stan, for the face I made. I really thought you were trying to say that we should not wait till marriage to repopulate our nation. You should start now. And I was like, pretty sure we're supposed to wait. So I do apologize for that. But I definitely agree. We have been rebuilding our nation since the Holocaust, and we still have a lot more work to go. But yeah, we gotta get married. We gotta start repopulating.
Yeah, I also thought that's what you said, Chanel. That's what it seemed like. Svi was talking about having kids, and then you're like, you don't gotta wait for marriage to start replenishing the pyramid. So, I mean, whatever. You win. Yeah, okay. And for pointing out stuff, the M is lowercase at the end. There's no period after this. But yeah.
First of all, Sean, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. You're always great. And yeah, I think that the Rebbe saying is again that we need to take action, and that it's not about the big plans or the big. It's how I get out of this FiveAlive and I go into the Zal. How am I looking at people? How am I? It's practical. It's not like a high concept.
I had no idea that Sean takes the letter and reprint, like goes letter by letter and prints. That's 3 major props. Like, wow. I hope you ingested a letter in a way that no one else did. And yeah, thank you, Isaac, for always, like, the water keeps me hydrated. I'm almost always pushing yellow, so thank God. Now that I started coming FiveAlive, it's a little bit more clear. All right,
Rabbi Yaska.
I'm going to give David to speak for a minute, but I'm going to speak first. I saw David. So, wow. You know what? One thing is going to be interesting. When one day you're going to realize it doesn't make sense that you don't know who God is. It doesn't make sense that you didn't know it. It's so not normal not to know that everything is here. This is the reality. God is this is we really think is the reality.
Yalla.
Okay, David, דבר. Speak.
It's only 30 seconds.
What am I speaking about?
Speaking about don't ask us.
Listen, I'll talk about my experience with God this past year. He came through, so that's a good thing.
What's V?
I got married. I had $10,000 in debt from the wedding, and on my cards and stuff, and I daven so that I can pay it off. And Baruch Hashem, today he came through, and I'm able to pay it all off and have a little extra, Baruch Hashem.
I want to give you now, because he's so stupid when he tells you about the money. He's going to have to give me now a little bit. He's so sick.
Listen, I should have a lot more to give you. So. Not a bad thing to give you. Anyways, yeah, so that's a good coming through of Hashem.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Having fun?
Yeah, go ahead.
Funny. Yeah, sorry if I wasn't clear. You have to wait until marriage. even Robert Tower says, yeah. There's
So Reb Kobe Moshe Cohen, Kobe Leon, I'm sorry I talked to somebody. So he sent me now. I missed another $400. Now he sent me cash up now $400. So Kobe will repeat. So I was shaking hands. So we balance. I have to send you all the money, Kobe. So thank you very much for being my inspiration of my life.
Thank you, Nebraska.
Kobe, this is
Thank
good.
you.
It's very good news.
Say 4,000, 400.
400.
I thought you said
400,000.
200.
Okay, let's try that again.
Cash
Sure.
out to 400.
400,000.
No, let's try that again.
400.
You can't cash up over
Yeah,
10,000.
go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know.
What did Robert Tower say?
I don't know. I just trying to remember. No, we try to ask if there's a way around it, and I think he said there's absolutely no way around. He did say.
Yeah. I'll say by my
Actually, you'll explain when it gets to your turn. I think I remember saying because she's in need of there is, even if she goes to mikvah, there is no way around it.
Switching back to 2.5 minutes from. Yeah. Another round?
Yes. How much time do we have?
We have enough time.
Yes, we have. Go.
As for the question, wherein lies the preservation of our people, and what is its historic destiny? The answer is not difficult to find if we examine the pages of our history throughout the many centuries of our sojourn among the nations of the world. It is neither power, nor country, nor even a common language that preserved us in the past, but our Jewish way of life in mitzvahs, whereby Jews live. Those who sought new ways, or staked the future of our people on other factors, and there were such groups that made such attempts, is Kuthites, Sadducees, Hellenists, Haratis, etc., Harites, Karites, disappeared without a trace. Only the eternal Torah and mitzvahs, the true Jewish way of life, preserved us in the past and will preserve us in the future. This is the golden thread that runs throughout our long history.
As for the question, wherein lies the preservation of our people and what is its historic destiny? The answer is not difficult to find if we examine the pages of our history throughout the many centuries of our sojourn among the nations of the world. It is neither power nor country, nor even a common language that preserved us in the past, but our Jewish way of life in mitzvahs, whereby Jews live. Those who saw new ways or staked the future of our people on other factors, and there were such groups who made such attempts. The delicate, is that what it is? Anyways, the Kuthites, Sadducees, Hellenists, Karites, I don't know how to pronounce that, etc., disappeared without trace. Only the eternal Torah and mitzvahs, the true Jewish way of life, preserved us in the past, as will preserve us in the future. This is the golden thread that runs throughout our long history.
As for the question, wherein lies the preservation of our people, and what is its historic destiny? The answer is not difficult to find if we examine the pages of our history throughout the many centuries of our sojourn among the nations of the world. It is neither power nor country, nor even a common language that preserved us in the past, but our Jewish way of life in mitzvahs, whereby Jews live. There are those who sought new ways or staked the future of our people on other factors, and there were such groups who made such attempts, referring to the Kuthites, the Sadducees, the Hellenists, Karites, etc., disappeared without trace. Only eternal Torah and mitzvahs, the true Jewish way of life, preserved us in the past, as will preserve us in the future. This is the golden thread that runs throughout our long history.
As for the questions, wherein lies the preservation of our people and what is its historic destiny? The answer is not difficult to find if we examine the pages of our history throughout the many centuries of our sojourn among the nations of the world. It is neither power nor country nor even a common language that preserved us in the past, but our Jewish way of life in mitzvot, whereby Jews live. Thus, who sought new ways or staked the future of our people on other factors, and there were such groups who made such attempts, viz., Kuthites, Sadducees, Hellenists, Karites, etc., disappeared without trace. Only the eternal Torah and mitzvah, the true Jewish way of life, preserves us in the past, as will preserve us in the future. This is the golden thread that runs throughout our history, our long history.
Word.
One more.
As for the question, wherein lies the preservation of our people and what is its historic destiny, the answer is not difficult to find if we examine the pages of our history throughout the many centuries of our sojourn among the nations of the world. It's neither power nor country nor even a common language that preserved us in the past, but our Jewish way of life in mitzvahs, whereby Jews live. Those who sought new ways or staked the future of our people and other factors, and there were such groups who made such attempts. Kuthites, Sadducees, Hellenists, Karates, etc. disappeared without trace. Only the eternal Torah and mitzvahs, the true Jewish way of life, preserved us in the past and will preserve us in the future. This is the golden thread that runs throughout our long history.
Has
that.
Or score.
Forward.
The wall.
The man.
Question? Answer. Answer.
Yes.
Quick.
Question yes. Go ahead.
So the Rebbe is very clear over here that the way of the method of Jewish survival is Torah mitzvahs. And I think that, today you know, like I was telling everybody, like, I got kicked out of a few places, told me not to put on tefillin. All of them were synagogues. Like, not only that, the one place I got kicked out of, I asked the guy if he would put on tefillin, and a teenager, he's like, yeah. So I'm about to wrap him up. Like, I put the tefillin here, and it was a museum. It was a shul where people were escaping the Inquisition. Like, these people were escaping religious persecution. They came to America.
Wow.
You get it? This was a show that these people who came off the boat from the Inquisition had opened up this show, saying, here we could serve God proudly and openly. I was like, can I wrap this guy? It's a museum. You're not allowed to put on tefillin here. I'm like, excuse me. Oh, my gosh. Shem Yerachem.
Is this like the place in Massachusetts? Whatever. I heard someone was telling me about it. I think I'm not even trying to pronounce that. What I'm really liking about this, what I really liked about this letter, first of all, yeah, like it took actually whatever, it wasn't so hard to type up. It took like just a short time. Honestly, I like it. I enjoy that. I enjoy it because like I don't have anything to write, and I like the clicking of the keys. But like he articulates every idea really, like every single paragraph connects to each other and like forms one letter that's giving over an idea. But throughout it all, like every single paragraph is its own idea that he's giving over in such a clear manner. It's like its own, like everything is its own subject. Like he's saying like, this is why like Judaism, it's truth. Like this is what it's doing. It's running through history. It's the golden thread. Like yeah, every single paragraph we could take out its own idea. It's really cool.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Thank you for sharing that. It's very powerful to think about that. But we do that. I do that. Like, they was saying that kind of in a way you're saying. We were persecuted for, ever. And now we have the freedom and we just persecute ourselves. Because like, hey, nobody else is doing it, so let me do it, I'm saying I do that. I'm looking at that show and I'm like, you guys in a museum. I'm thinking to myself, like, you're a museum, dude. Well, I actually need to do Torah mitzvahs, in theory. Anyways, I would like to say the idea of quantitatively and qualitatively, which by the way are real words, says and tells us that the idea of having children, repopulating the world, is not just after marriage. That's the whole point. What the Rebbe is pointing out is that there's both. There's physically having children, and then there's helping another Jew strengthen Yiddishkeit. That's qualitative.
Very quick thing of what Schneider was trying to say. You cannot have a kid before marriage, halachically. What you can do is you can get married, have a kid, then get a divorce, and you can do this as a teenager if you really, really just need to have sex. And if you want to repopulate, that's one way to do it. It's not very fond of it. It's not preferred. It's not preferred, but it is allowed. Secondly, yeah, what the Rebbe is trying to say is we've been repopulating ourselves. We just got back to our population, but at the same time, the quality of the Jews that were repopulated. Not only do you have to make more Jews, but you got to make more Jews serving mitzvahs. The main thing he said we have to do to stay alive is not just repopulate it, because there's been millions of Jews, and if you could tell in the past when Jews slacked off in Judaism, that's when we were killed. That's when we were assassinated. So we have to make good Jews, and that's how we keep ourselves safe.
So it's Rabbi Talbot brought down this ruling in a discussion where he was speaking about how in Israel people were proposing that gay men marry lesbian women, they have a child, and then they get divorced, and it's completely kosher, he was saying, but like, it's a bit iffy. Like, I think that's where the quality comes in, having quality children. Like, what's the quality of their life going to be when they grow up in such an environment? So, yeah, the words are just coming out. I don't know what's happening right now. You're very excited for the weekend. It looked before like you were having a staring contest with yourself in the thing I just saw you like. So yeah, we're gonna go back and look at that later.
I think this paragraph answers the question. I think what the Rebbe is saying is that the whole idea is to stick to just not getting tripped up about I can't do this or I'm not feeling this. If I stick to the Torah mitzvahs, if we stick to the Torah mitzvahs, like the Rebbe said, the Torah mitzvahs, the pure Torah mitzvahs are the only things that just run through with nothing able to, because it's truth. And nothing could touch truth. Truth will stay there. In Russia, when the Yidden had to want them real Mesiras Nefesh, and now in America, when we could realize a certain truth, and then with that, I'm able to identify the deception in the world. I see the truth, and I can tell myself, this is my path to stick to the truth. So what the Rebbe is saying is just by knowing that the Torah is the truth and sticking to that, that's the goal, to stick to the truth.
Thank you, Levi. I really appreciated those words.
Yeah.
And I wanted to comment on both Yitzi and Kobe, a similar theme. That yes, not just quantity of Jews, but also quality of Jews requires that the child should have a father and mother that love each other. That's the bottom line. No child, it's not nice to have a child who grows up without that feeling of both a father and a mother in a healthy and home environment. I think that's the part of what the Rebbe is saying here. So Hashem should bless us to have peace in our homes, love and affinity.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take 1 minute? I'm sorry, I have to do it. It's a reaction. It's like Yitzi reacting and taking my minute. That's why I say what I said.
Okay. Chassidus teaches us we have to work with the body. The ice cream is now your encouragement that the body should do what you want to do. I'm serious. Very, very serious. 100% serious. And together with that, I want to respond to what you said about real Mesiras Nefesh in Russia. This is real Mesiras Nefesh. The Rebbe said that now for a person to hold himself back from what he wants for 5 minutes is the same Mesiras Nefesh that they had in Russia. Like, without any distinctions, that's so much more to say. Anyways, you can't.
I'm just thinking about how we have to work hard. And in Russia, a lot of people like to rebel. When you're in yeshiva, you love basketball, you can play in the court, but no, you're going to rebel and go to the park. In Russia, because you like to rebel about things that you care about. So in Russia, people care about their Judaism, so they rebelled to do something they cared about. Now in America, when it's openly, it's harder. Rebbe says, just like we have to work on ourselves there, we still have to work on ourselves now. We're exactly the same as Russia. The only difference is it's more open, which is why we have to work even harder now.
What Yitzi just said, I think that's the whole idea of Purim right there. And it's one of my favorite messages, like, of all the holidays of everything. It's like it's one that I connect with the most. And I think it's really powerful that they could have just walked. It's like they accept it was whatever, yeah.
Yeah, no, I really Yitzi hit it right on the spot. That's the only code. That's the beginning and end. to recognize that we're all in Mesiris Nefesh. And it's not the fact that again, we're sitting here at 8 in the morning reading a Rebbe's letter. That's Mesiris Nefesh. The fact that we're wearing a yarmulke. I don't want to. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm a Yid. So it's the same mentality as over there. And yeah, it's much harder because there's no push. But that's the whole idea now.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, guys. Unbelievable.
That was unbelievable.